Good morning, this is Bob Ichino along with Mike Arnold from Path Trading Partners, AM Path Chat for April 11th, covering the FX markets. Not a whole lot of note, well there was some of note overnight from a perspective of the economic releases, but essentially no surprises in the actual releases. The UK Consumer Price Index year over year came out exactly as expected. This is an estimate for March, came out at 2.3%, so the Consumer Price Index is now also at or near, depending on the range you consider for the Bank of England, their target, which is 2%, just like the rest of the central banks. And the core consumer price, which you would think they would look at more, is right at the level. It's 1.9%. It was expected at 2%. So we don't consider those to be beats or misses. One is dead on and one is off by a tenth. Nothing really shocking there. The Euro, German, ZEW survey of economic sentiment, the German one is the one that matters the most, was 14.8% versus 12.8%. You'd expect a tiny euro pop out of that. You could see a little euro pop on the screen yesterday. A small part of that euro pop could also be attached to some kind of mild statements by Janet Yellen last night in her Q&A at the speech she gave later in the day. One of them saying that her job was to let the economy sort of coast along now, to run along at its own momentum. Again, I'm paraphrasing. She sounded, from the tone and the answer to the question, for lack of a better word, chill about rate hikes and about rolling back the balance sheet given the recent data. She also had a couple of other, this was by the way at an event at the University of Michigan. She also said that she thinks we have a healthy economy in the US right now, and that they don't need to push on the gas pedal, but again, let the economy kind of coast at an even keel. That's actually a quote. She did say they want to be ahead of the curve, not behind it, but she didn't think that we were actually at that point. At least, again, that's what I'm garnering from the comments that she said. Later today in the economic calendar, nothing really important out of the U.S., but tonight at 8:30 Central Time, 9:30 Eastern Time, we have Chinese Consumer Price Index, which will matter. It's expected to come out at up 1%. Last was 0.8%. I'm going to turn it over to Mike to let you know what he is seeing on the charts. Mikey, it is all yours.
All right. Thank you very much, Bob. Euro, US dollar moving higher. We have a very short-term trend line trade, lower probability since it's against the rotation zone. If euro continues to rally today, resistance 106.20 area, followed by the 106.29. Then we don't have anything up until our small little gain cluster at 106.49 to 54, and that 54 level qualifies as the first target for the aggressive rotation zone trendline trade. If we turn back down, support 105.97 to 106, followed by the 105.78 level, followed by 105.69. And then if that's broken, we're not really looking for any key support to 105.46. Over to the pound. We've talked about this double did trigger, moved back up to the flattening area of the first cross rotation zone. So nothing else to do there. This double would be a lot longer term. It would take days to, if not weeks, to play out, but it's still valid. It has not stopped out yet. On a continued rally up, these 124.30 levels going to be key, really 124.30 to 124.36. Above there, watch for a retest of today's highs, so far 124.45, and then above that, really not much. There will be some minor resistance right around 124.65, followed by, we have a GAN cluster 124.82 to 88 right in here. Head back lower, support around 124.07, then 123.87, followed by the 123.71 level. US dollar, Japanese yen, we talked about a potential double. This is now a triple bottom, which we do not call out any trades, but it's more of a continuation pattern. So this gets very key, this 110.10 level, which we have these two bottoms. If we come back down, make a third bottom there, that's going to be a very strong line in the sand. So that's going to be what we're looking for key support if the US dollar, Japanese yen does head lower today. If that level is broken, then the next major level down is this 109.44 to 50 level right in here, where we have the flattening but slightly rising 200-day moving average. On a move back up, overhead resistance 110.90, followed by 111.30, followed by 111.45. That's going to be your key resistance areas. US dollar Swiss pulling back right at some key levels right now, 100.70. If that is broken, watch for 100.57, followed by 100.45, and then we have a GAN cluster at 100.34. Then we have the rising 21 coming in at 100.27. So those are all your key support levels lower. On a move back up higher, minor resistance at 100.81, followed by 100.97, which is essentially the 101 mark. Then a retest of the highs made yesterday, 101.07. Over to the Aussie. Aussie tested our significant level at 74.93 today and bounced off it. If it does head back down, that's going to be key. That's 74.93. And then if that's broken, 74.76, followed by 74.70. Once those levels are violated, we're looking at down around the 74.50 to 74.54 area. On a continued move higher, GAN cluster of resistance 75.27, followed by 75.38, and then very key level 75.52, where we have a GAN 37.5 and a flattening 200. Over to the CAD, which had a very big move yesterday, dropping us back in this range. We're now testing a longer term trend line. If we do get below that trend line, watch for a potential move down to 133.05, followed by the 132.97 significant level, and then the next level lower is 132.83. If this level does hold, we have resistance at 133.31, followed by not much until we get to 133.63, where the moving averages are converging for a potential first cross. Finally, Mexican peso, really been stuck in this range. We keep testing this lower area multiple times. If we head back down to retest these lows, watch for 1861.60 is very key. Then below that, 1854.27. If this does move higher again, we've had resistance at this declining trend line, which is coming in at 1874.13. Once that's broken, we are watching for 1883.40, followed by 1888.24 on the upside. That's all we have for you. Back to you, Bob.
Thank you, Michael, and cheers, everybody, and thanks for watching. We'll talk to you later this afternoon when we put up our PM Path Chat. Cheers, everyone.